Hello friends, welcome to ICRA Technology. Let's learn about inheritance in Python. So inheritance is one of the most important and most useful concept of object oriented programming, which provides one class the ability to derive the properties of another class, creating a parent child relationship between them. So there are uh, let's understand this with an example. So your parents have certain qualities which you inherit from them, right? And certain you develop yourself, then your child will inherit some qualities uh, uh, from you. So that's how inheritance works. Same here. So suppose if I have created a class, okay, you can call this class as a base class and it has certain functions, and i am I am creating a new class with slightly different functionality, but I want the functionality of class A too. So what I will do is I will inherit the class A into class B. So now I will get all the functionalities of class A in class B, as well as I can add more functionalities to the class B. So that's how inheritance work. There are certain types of inheritance. Let's understand them one by one. So first is single inheritance. This is the simple inheritance in which one class inherits from another class. So the parent class is called as base class, and the derived class, or you can say child class, is called as derived class. So let's see this with an example. Here we have created a class called as animal, okay, and what we are doing is we are taking name of the animal, okay, and then we are returning animal makes a sound. Now I am creating a class called as dog, where I want the functionality from the animal class. So what I will do is I will simply inherit the animal class into my new class. Okay, in this way, you have to write your new class name, then in parenthesis, you have to write the class which you want to inherit. So, I want to inherit animal in my dog class. Now, I will use its speak function to give it. So I am using the same speak function, but I am giving it a bit different functionality. Okay, so what I am doing is I am reusing the same function name and I am taking the quality of the existing base class. Okay, so it will what will happen is whenever we create the object, it will use the constructor of this class. Now one thing to notice here is in the dog class we have not created any init method, right? You can see that we just have one method called as speak, and we have no init method in it. So now where does this dog class getting the init method or constructor from? So this dog class is getting the init method or constructor for itself from its base class. Okay, so because constructor is a type of method too, so it's getting the constructor from the base class. The base class constructor is getting applied on the derived class, so we do not need to again and again add the constructor. We can just inherit the class. So I hope you are getting bit idea about what I'm saying. Now when uh, when you are passing the Tommy to the dog class, if you check the dog class, there is no init method here. So that, which means in other cases, if I am not inheriting animal class, I cannot directly pass any parameter to it, right? Because in order to pass the parameter during object instantiation, we must need constructor. So but as animal class have a constructor, the dog class is utilizing the same constructor and setting the name variable for the dog class, which is Tommy. Now when we are running this, it is taking the name we provided while creating the object. So output looks like Tommy barks. It is using the speak function of dog class, okay, because dog class has its own speak function, but it is using the constructor of animal class, as dog class does not has its own init function or constructor. So I hope this is clear. Now let's go to our next type of inheritance, which is multi-level inheritance. So suppose you have your grandparents. Okay, your grandparents gave birth to your parents. Okay, and passed on some quality to them, and that your parents gave birth to you, and that qualities get passed to you. So here the class A will be the parent of class B, and class B will be parent of class C. So what will happen now is class A will have some of its properties. Now class B will have class A's property and class B's itself's property too. And now class C will have class A's property as well as class B's property and its own property too. So that's how multi-level inheritance work. You can see it is based on level. This is level 0, this is level 1, this is level 2. So that's how multi-level inheritance work. Now let's see an example of multi-level inheritance. Okay, so we have a base class called as animal. Okay, here same, we are doing the same function here. We have a constructor called as init, and then we have a speak function. Okay, then we have a class called as dog, which is inheriting from animal. So consider this as the grandparent and this class as a parent class, which again has a speak function. Okay, then consider this as a child class. Okay, so what child class is inheriting from parent class, which is dog. And now here we are creating a function def play, which takes the name as which takes the name parameter, which does not mention anywhere in the puppy class. Then where is this self dot name coming from? So this puppy class is using the constructor or init method of the grandparent, which is animal class. Okay, and puppy class is using the speak function of the parent class. Okay, so let me explain you what is happening here. Is when I am for here I am creating the object of puppy class, and what I am doing is passing it the name Charlie. Okay, so now as there is no constructor in puppy class, it is taking the constructor of its grandparent, which is animal class. So it is assigning the Charlie in name. We see here we do not again need to define the constructor, so we saved writing that code. Then now if you see, the puppy class do not have any function called as speak. Okay, if you can notice, this is the puppy class, right? This is the code of puppy class. It only has one function which is called as play. The puppy class does not have any function called as speak. So where is the speak function coming from? It is coming from its parent. Okay, which is on level which is a level above from it. So it is taking the speak function from the parent. See, as the parent, dog has a function called as speak. Okay, so it is taking it from here. So what it will print is Charlie barks. So first you saved writing constructor from because you inherited the because you inherited the property of class animal through multi-level inheritance. Then you saved writing speak function again, as you inherited the animal class through multi-level inheritance. Now puppy dot play function is defined in puppy class only, right? So it is using its own function too. So what is happening here is, when we are creating object, it is using the constructor of grandparent. Okay, and when we are running the speak function, it is using the function of parent. And when we are uh, running this function or this method, it is using it from its own class. So now there arises a doubt, okay, that we have a speak function in dog class as well as in animal class. So how do I know it is using it from dog class and not from animal class? So remember one thing, if you if there is a speak function in immediate parent class of the current object, so current object is puppy, right, which is made using puppy class, its immediate parent class is dog. If there is the function present in the direct immediate parent class, it will use that function. So speak function is present in dog class, that's why it is using the speak function from dog class. But if the speak function is absent in dog class and it is present in animal class, then it will use it from animal class. But if the speak function is present in both grandparent and parent class, it will use the function from parent class. It is bit confusing. If you want, you can hear it once again and you will understand it. So that's how multi-level inheritance work. Now let's see another. Here we have hierarchical inheritance. So what happened in hierarchical inheritance? It is same as you and your sibling having same parent. Okay, so what happens is you inherit the property of your parent as well as your sibling inherits the property of your parent. So here we have a parent class or base class called as class A and siblings as class B and class C. So class B will also inherit the property of class A, class C will also inherit the property of class A. Now let's see this with an example. This class animal is our parent class. Okay, then we have what it is doing, it's again doing the same thing. It is defining a constructor or init method and a speak function in it. Then we have derived class 1, which is the child class 1, or you can say uh, derived class 1. What is happening here is, again if you notice again, this is the dog class and it does not have its own constructor, right, but it's still using the attribute self dot name. And for the cat class, which is again inheriting from animal, see, animal is our parent class and both dog and cat are inheriting from animal class, so they both do not have their own constructor. So where are they getting constructor from? They are getting constructor from their parent, because they both are siblings, so they both can get the constructor from their parent class. Now when we are creating object, we do not have any constructor or init method written inside our dog and cat class, but we can still pass them the names while instantiating the object. Okay, so one thing to notice here is inheritance saving us from repeatedly creating init method again and again in each class. This is saving the space, reducing the line of codes and making the code reusable. So this is one of the very amazing feature of inheritance, as it saves you writing the repetitive code. Now let's see multiple inheritance. So now till now we were talking about single parent. Okay, now consider like you have two parents, right, your mother and your you have two parents, your mother and father, right. So here the A, you can consider A as mother, B as father, and now class C will inherit properties from class A as well as class B, right. So how to do this? This is very simple. Again, you have to create parent class 1 or base class 1, you can say. Here I am creating base class 1 and here I am creating base class 2. What is happening in base class? Just like any other animal class. Okay, so what animal class does is, it takes the constructor which sets the name, then it has a function called a speak which returns string basically. Then we have base class 2, you can consider this as a mother base class and the second base class as a father base class. So father base class is called as vehicle. So vehicle again has its own constructor which is setting the speed. Now you can notice it was setting the name and this constructor is setting the speed, and it has its own function called as def derive. These both classes are completely different, right? This is a mother base class, this is a father base class, which are completely different. But now we are deriving the child class from these two class. How to use these two class? You can just write them by separating them through comma. So we are creating a class called as dog car, in which we are inheriting animal as well as vehicle. Now what we are doing is we are creating an init method, okay, where we are taking the constructor from animal class as well as vehicle class, because it got access to the constructor of animal class and vehicle class, so you do not need to define it again and again. You have just created, you are calling it here, okay. Then it has its own function also, def show ability, and it is taking the value from these two class and showing it in your child class. So whatever the properties you are getting from both the parents, you are showing it, that's shown in you, right? That's shown in the child, whatever the properties it is getting from the parents. So now let's see, here we have created an object of dog car, which is our child class, and we have given it two things. Now if you will notice, we have not created a dedicated constructor for assigning the name and speed. We are using the constructor of animal class for name and vehicle class for speed. We are just calling it. If you see, we are not creating the constructor again. Then what happened here is we are passing two things, name and speed. Now when here, one thing to notice, when you are using dogcar.speak, now if you see, this is the dogcar class. It does not have any function called as speak, right? It doesn't have any such function. So who has the speak function among both the parents? So the, you can say, base class 1 has the speak function. So what it will do is, it will, whatever the name you are giving in the dogcar object, it will run it using the speak function from parent 1. So one thing to notice here is, it does not has its own speak function, but it can utilize the parent speak function, right? Now it does not have its own drive function. If you see dogcar class, it does not have its own drive function, right? There is no drive function, but the drive function is present in the parent class, which is base class 2. So it is utilizing that drive function. So what now, when we do not use inheritance, what happens is, you have to in order to use this in your dogcar class, you have to define them inside your dogcar class. But now using inheritance, what you are doing is, you are just inheriting the class and using them as if they are the function that belongs to your class, as they belongs to the parent class from which you are inheriting. Now dogcar.showability, it now the dogcar has its own functionalities too. So showability will run this statement. So that's how you can say multiple inheritance work. So now let's quickly revise what we learned till now. Inheritance means when base class when base class give its property to the derived class, or when derived class inherits the property of base class, or you can say when child class inherits the property of parent class, is what we call inheritance. There are certain type of inheritance. First is single inheritance, in which a single class inherits from a single class, which means we have one base class and one derived class, one parent class and one child class. This is the parent or base class, this is child or derived class. Now we have second type of inheritance, which is multi-level inheritance, where we have level of inheritance. So we have, you can consider the class A as the grandparent, class B as the parent, and class C as the child. So class A is the parent of both class B and class C, right? And class B is the parent of class C. So what will happen is class B will inherit the properties of class A, class C will inherit the property of class B as well as class A. Now next type we have is hierarchical inheritance. So what happens in hierarchical inheritance is two different class inherits the property from a same base class. You can consider you and your sibling have same mother, right? So you both inherit the properties from your mothers. So here you can consider the class A as mother and class B as the one child and class C as the another child. Then we have multiple inheritance, where you can consider this as this is your mother, class A is your mother, and class B is your father. So you inherit the property of mother as well as father. So here in multiple inheritance we have two base classes and a single derived class. So yeah, that's all about today's video. Thank you.